Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing this Wednesday, November 5th. Next week will mark Veterans Day. This is a wonderful time to take a moment and honor those who have served, as well as enjoy a lot of the community events that go on in the county and the cities to honor our veterans. We're very pleased to get more on that, as well as a reminder about benefits for our veterans and what is available to them from Jack Murphy from our Military and Veterans Affairs Office. Hi, Jack.
Hi, good morning, Maya. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Sure can.
All right, I'll say up front for the entire audience, forgive any bulldozer sounds and vibrations. We're under an active construction zone over here in beautiful Foggy Marina. But thanks for the introduction and the opportunity to share with everyone what's going on. My name is Jack Murphy. I'm the County Veteran Services Officer and also the Director of the Military and Veterans Affairs Office. I'm going to go ahead and share some slides if that's okay with everyone. There we go. And can you see, hold on here, minimize some things. Can you see the slides?
I can, and
Okay, perfect.
you
All
can
right.
show it any way you want.
Okay, there we go. So there's my contact information. We do also have that handy dandy QR there. If anyone wants to grab that one and use it to message us at our website, mvao.org. What our office does, we assist, support, and advocate on behalf of both Monterey and San Benito County's veterans. The population right now, we're looking at about 19,000 veterans between the two counties, 6,000 active service members, the preponderance of whom live out here on the peninsula, attending both the Naval Support Activity Monterey and then also the Presidio of Monterey's garrison there. We also provide assistance to survivors and dependents, depending on what type of veteran benefit that might entail. We also spend a lot of our effort advocating and assisting and educating veterans and their families on the different types of benefits that are out there. We are the only accredited agency that serves Monterey and San Benito County. Our services are free. All of our veteran service representatives are accredited through the VA, and we will never charge anyone anything to provide our services. We're county employees, and we're happy to provide this to service to those individuals who've earned those entitlements. And speaking of which, just a quick overview of what we accomplished there in FY24 and 25.
Hey, Jack, your slides aren't advancing.
Oh, well, I'm still on this slide though. Give me a
Oh,
second.
okay. Just double checking. Sorry.
Okay. A quick overview there. During that last fiscal year, we served 3,358 unique veterans, filed over 5,700 claim actions on their behalf. We were awarded 2,100 VA disability compensation awards. And just to note, not every claim action is connected to a disability compensation award. That's why there's this difference in the numbers. Sometimes a claim action would be for something that's not compensable, or someone wants to get a license plate. That is not include the VA. So therefore, it's not counted in that number. But our work totaled over $21.5 million of new and recurring tax-free financial contributions to Monterey County veterans, and that money gets freely spent here in Monterey and San Benito County by the veteran or their family members. And then just of note, something we're always proud to show off, for the two counties, we processed 257 college tuition fee waivers valued at $2.1 million. That's $2.1 million that we saved veterans from having to pay into the public college system. And that's 257 kids that went to college where they otherwise might not have. So we love helping folks move on to bigger and better things in life. Some of those things are highlighted on this slide under the federal benefits. First and foremost, healthcare is the most valuable and most important benefit that we can provide to veterans. We help them get healthcare. We help them get compensated for any service-connected disabilities, injuries, illnesses, diseases that, again, is related to their service. For veterans who are low income, sometimes homeless, we assist with a non-service connected pension, which is a means tested pension. It provides them healthcare, and it also brings up their income to a certain level, where that way, they can get by a little bit easier. The educational programs, there's a myriad of them, starting with the GI Bill through a couple of different scholarship and grant programs. The VA can assist with vocational training, job placement, home loans, life insurance. There's a whole myriad of benefits that the VA can assist with both at the state and federal level, but it really starts first and foremost with connecting to our office, and 9 times out of 10 will pursue the healthcare eligibility first, because that therefore, or thereafter, I should say, would entitle someone to all those other types of benefits. These are some of the state benefits that are available through the California Department of Veterans Affairs. I mentioned it earlier with the college tuition fee waivers. That is one of the main programs administered by the state. They also do a separate type of home loan. The VA at the federal level will underwrite a loan or guarantee the loan, whereas CalVet at the state level will actually be the lender. So that there's different policies. There's a lot more latitude with the state loan system as opposed to the federal loan system. But your residence does need to be here in the state of California. California proudly has 8 different California veterans homes, and some of our disabled and elderly veterans are living there. We assist them to get them into those homes. The closest one to Monterey Bay is up in the Yountville, Napa area. And we've not forgotten with our legislative team. We're always advocating to have a home built or opened here in the Central Coast area. We do have the beautiful California Central Coast Cemetery on former Fort Ord here in Seaside. If you haven't been there, it is a solemn, quiet, but also gorgeous place to be. They will be having an event on Veterans Day. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then there's obviously some, of course, other benefits that are available. Maya sent out a press release earlier this week. The county is now accepting the state park pass. So the county parks are honoring that. So let's have more veterans come to our county parks and enjoy the outdoors. This is just an overview. I get asked a lot recently. I've been asked a lot, like, what has the federal government impacted within the veteran world? And fortunately, within the Veterans Health Administration, there have been some impacts, but they're rather minimal compared to all the other types of benefits that are offered by the Veterans Health Administration. So this is a list of programs that have been impacted. Some of them have been closed. A lot of the educational support programs have been temporarily closed. That's not to say that if you already have, for example, an existing educational benefit, you can continue using that. If you haven't been awarded that educational benefit and you seek out some assistance from the VA, that's where you're probably going to get, no one answering the telephone. So benefits to individuals wanting to use a future educational benefit is on hold for now. The VA regional office up in Oakland is closed. Public affairs and outreach by the VA to veterans has also ceased. And then there have been some other limited impacts within the National Cemetery Administration. This is the good news slide. This is a list of Veterans Health Administration and Veterans Benefits Administration programs that have not been impacted. That's largely due to the VA being on a off-cycle funding program. First and foremost, we're pleased to say that the veterans' health care has not largely been impacted. We have not seen any significant impacts to operations or staffing at the Gorley Clinic here in Marina, nor have we seen that at VA Palo Alto, which is the medical center that supports this area. So the outpatient clinics and the hospitals remain open. The vet centers that provide readjustment counseling to veterans and families remain open. As a matter of fact, we have a counselor here in our building in Marina. So she comes and provides individual and group therapy modalities for veterans. The payments to veterans for compensation and pension will continue. There's no change to that. There's no change that I've heard about potentially happening in the foreseeable future. We'll see how long the government shutdown continues. But veterans seeking assistance from homeless programs or housing support, that's still available. If you have an existing educational benefit, that continues as well. Everything related to the Central Coast Veterans Cemetery and national cemeteries continues, so burials are happening. I mentioned that because in past shutdowns, burials were stopped. So this one's a little bit different than the last shutdown we had in 2019. The Board of Veterans Appeals is continuing to hear cases. The backlog for appeals cases is still somewhere around 24 to 36 months, unfortunately, 2 to 3 years. But this specific program or area of adjudication remains open. And then any contact centers, some of them have been impacted a little bit, but the main ones there that are listed, VA, My VA 411 and the Veterans Crisis Line, which is 988, and then press 1, remain open 24/7. So the bottom line is at the bottom of the slide. Our office and the office we operate in San Bernardino County have not been impacted and are functioning as normal. The following couple
Jack,
slides.
we're
Yes,
still
ma'am.
not seeing that slide. I just wanted to let you know we're not seeing it.
You are not seeing. Well, I
Right.
am sharing on my end.
Okay.
It is showing as I am sharing my screen.
Okay.
So
Well, no, but we're just not seeing the slide that you're sharing. That's all. Just maybe if you unshare and then share again.
I shall do that. Is it showing now?
There it is. It is
Okay.
showing now. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, not a problem. Thank you for letting me know. I will send out all of these slides to you afterwards. But it's pretty straightforward stuff. I
Thank
do
you.
want to highlight some events that are occurring before, during, and one event after Veterans Day. So this is the beginning of the list here, pre-Veterans Day events. Current ongoing right now, we have Operation Greenlight, which goes from dusk till dawn. The county is illuminating 3 different buildings, the main government center at 168 Alisal, the government center at 1441 Schilling, both of those in Salinas, and then our own office here in Marina are being lit in the evening hours with either green highlighting or green floodlights, just to bring attention visually to veterans service, and it's a way to honor veterans. In particular, the government center in the main government center in Salinas and 168 Alisal is very nice the way that one's been lit up, and the flagpole outside of it also. So if you're looking for an opportunity to go take some neat evening pictures, I recommend that one. Both Hartnell College and CSUMB are holding various events throughout the week. The contacts for those 2 respective colleges are listed there. Ligia Polio at Hartnell, and then Giselle Young at CSUMB. This upcoming Friday, November 7th, a couple of neat events from 1 to 3 o'clock at Hayes Circle in Marina. VTC, the Veterans Transition Center, is going to be holding its official ribbon cutting for Light Fighter Village, which is its 71-unit permanent supportive housing facility. They just opened it this year. And then later on that evening from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. is going to be the annual Veteran of the Year dinner and awards ceremony taking place at the Elks Lodge in Salinas. Tickets for the awards dinner are still available, and we're getting close to selling out. But if anyone's interested in at least popping in to say hi, again, it's going to be taking place Friday evening at the Elks Lodge in Salinas. I'm just going to put it out there because if not, I'm going to hear about it from these people. But Monday, November 10th is the Marine Corps birthday. So if you know a Marine who hasn't let you know they're a Marine yet, slap him on the back and wish him a big happy birthday and say Semper Fi. Veterans Day is a busy day. Tuesday, November 11th, starting out at 11 o'clock in the morning at various locations. So first, as I mentioned earlier, the Central Coast Veterans Cemetery in Seaside is going to be holding a memorial ceremony. There are going to be some dignitaries from a couple of surrounding municipalities and also the California Department of Veterans Affairs. They will be speaking there. At the same time, the American Legion Post 694 in Marina will be doing its annual Veterans Day observance. At the same time, American Legion Post 521 is going to be having a ceremony at Devendorf Park in Carmel by the Sea. That'll be at 11 o'clock. And then afterwards, there's going to be an open house at their Legion Post with lunch, and they're going to have some music. I've both attended and spoken at their ceremony there at Carmel. Devendorf Park's a neat little park. It's well attended, so I recommend that one if anyone's interested. Throughout the day, the city of Marina is going to be holding its Salute to Veterans Jamboree. That's going to be in partnership with the Veterans Transition Center in Marina, and that's going to be from 11 to 4. It is both a resource fair, a car show. They're going to have bouncy houses and booths for kids. So it is a jamboree honoring veterans of all different ages and generations and families. So that's going to be a great event. It's going to be taking place at the Veterans Transition Center on Imjin Parkway in Marina. In Salinas, the Vietnam Veteran Memorial is going to be holding an observation. A ceremony at the memorial there near the intersection of Natividad. That's going to be at 11:11 in the morning. So there's a play on both the time and the date. American Legion Post 41 in Monterey is going to be doing an observance at 1:11 p.m. And then down in Greenfield, because the Monterey County, formerly known as Salinas Veterans Day Parade, has been canceled this year, the men and women of American Legion Post 635, in partnership with the city of Greenfield, are hosting or holding a Veterans Day Parade in Greenfield on their main street. And then afterwards, there's going to be an open house at the American Legion Post, and that's going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. in Greenfield. And then later on in the afternoon, the Dunes at Marina, which is the shopping mall here in Marina, near where the movie theater is, behind the Brass Tap, which is one of the local restaurants, is going to be holding a unveiling of the Fort Ord Heritage Wall. It's a large wall with a number of artistic panels. That's going to be taking place at 4 p.m. and there will be some guest speakers there as well. Moving on to the day after Veterans Day. This is a neat event that I'm looking forward to attending. It's taking place Wednesday, 12 November from 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning. So this is a breakfast event. In partnership with the Monterey Bay Defense Alliance, Secretary Leon Panetta will be hosting and speaking at that event. And it's to both welcome home and also honor the service of our Vietnam veterans. As a lot of you have heard or can imagine, that was a challenging time for veterans coming home from Vietnam. So some of them did not get the proper awards and recognition. So that's going to be taking place that day. And then part of the proceeds for this breakfast event will be donated to the Veterans Transition Center. It'll take place at the Monterey Conference Center from 7:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. And if anyone's interested in purchasing tickets, you can do that through the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce website. And I'll also send out a flyer with these slides afterwards. Any contacts or questions that folks have? This is a list of VA contacts, and then this both CalVet and then my office. I do want to take a moment to highlight that if any active duty service members or federal employees that might be veterans or just any families or community members find themselves in need of either financial assistance or in particular food assistance because of some of the impacts to our supplemental needs assistance programs, both federally and at the state level. There are some resources available for veterans and for service members. If you could just ask them to please contact our office, and either we'll point them in the right direction, or we can refer them to other agencies that have resources as well. Subject to your questions or comments, this concludes what I've got to put out there for Veterans Day. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I will follow up with Maya by sending out these slides. Thank you.
Jackie, thanks so much for walking through the fun things as well as the service, the very important service information. You did just mention having people contact you. What are you hearing from the veterans who contact your office or the families? What are they concerned about right now? You kind of ran through the list of what is or is not impacted right now, but what are veterans worried about?
Veterans are worried about, well, a lot of veterans are doing okay. We're not getting a lot of inquiries for assistance from the veteran community that we have served in the past because they have been able to be connected with resources. But however, veterans are expressing some concern about the active duty service members and their families that live in this area. It's a high cost of living area, and it is particularly difficult on our young, lower enlisted service members and families. I have met with the commanders of both the garrison of Monterey, the Presidio of Monterey, and also the Defense Language Institute. And I've also met with the Naval Support Activity of Monterey, the naval installation, if you would. I've met with the command teams and let them know that the community is there to offer assistance to any service member or family member that might need it. We've only, I think, we've missed 3 pay periods so far over the course of this government shutdown. There was some telegraphing that this might be occurring. So I think service members were able to kind of shore up their savings and their resources in, unfortunately, the reality that this might be happening, and it has. So we've missed 1 full month's pay period plus a half-month pay period, so 3 different pay periods. And the concern is if this drags out into a 4th pay period. So now you have 2 full months of individuals who've had to work in a very high cost of living area and they're not getting paid, or they're getting partial pay depending on what population we're talking about. That's where the veteran community has expressed concern. And to me, it's heartwarming in a way, and I say in a way, I'm disappointed that we're even having this conversation, but it's heartwarming that the veteran community is rallying to support the service members and any other federal employees who might need it. And that's not just something that is peculiar to the peninsula where a lot of the service members are. I'm hearing it from veterans that live in the Salinas Valley and South County and elsewhere. I've spoken to both the CAOs from our respective counties that we support, and then also the boards of supervisors respectively. And everyone wants to provide as many resources as possible. In fact, Monterey County, yesterday's Board of Supervisors meeting approved, I think it was $150,000 of emergency funding to the food bank. Santa Cruz did a similar measure for a little bit more money. So everyone wants to help as best as possible. It's a challenge like you see with a lot of natural disaster emergencies. It's like, great, let's funnel all of these resources to the right places and get them to the folks who need it the most. And that's where we look to our partner agencies, such as Department of Social Services, and I see Annette there getting ready for her presentation. I mean, we all help each other in this one, and that's what makes being part of the county family great.
Well, it's a county family and a military family. That's for sure. The veterans looking out
Mhm.
for the people who are where they were.
Yes, and thank you for the opportunity to share. And again, I apologize about any IT issues, and I'll get you guys my slides here shortly.
Thank you, Jack, as always. Really glad to see you today.
Thank you.
And Jack gave Annette a great introduction. We're going to get an update on SNAP benefits. We hear there is some movement afoot, possible movement on those benefits. Annette Gallegos with our Department of Social Services. Hi, Annette. And I'm not hearing you.
Sorry about that.
Now I hear
See,
you.
let me share my screen. So as of this morning for November CalFresh, really what we know is that USDA Food and Nutrition Services did issue a memo, which really states that we would be able to issue 50% of the CalFresh allotments. And really in the whole United States. So for California, we are still waiting for the exact date. So the date is not known. So once the benefits are released and our system is ready to issue the benefits, we would come back and provide an update on that date. We definitely know it would take at least a week, but could take longer. So we will have to wait for an update on that. Jack mentioned actually that the Board of Supervisors approved $150,000 to the food bank for additional support. So we want to thank them for that because we definitely do see the need. But I think the most important thing for the Department of Social Services and as a county as a whole is that all of our residents who are receiving this benefit continue to submit their reports that includes changes in income, household members, and their annual recertification. So their case continues to stay active. And once these funds are available, they receive them. We do not want people to drop off of benefits. In addition, that people apply if they need any services, and I do say any services because that is CalFresh, CalWorks, and Medi-Cal. Our department has seen a decrease in CalFresh application this first week of November. So please, if you need the services, do apply so that way when these benefits are available, you will receive them. It is important to keep your family really with all the services that they are entitled to. What we are doing currently in Department of Social Services is referring really to all of the different areas that can provide services. Food bank, of course, is one of them. And the farmers market, they have a market match as well. Meals on Wheels, of course, 211 will refer individuals to the different agencies. WIC is still available. One of the things that even in our department that we forget is the medically tailored food boxes for recipients that they could actually apply for, so that there is a process, but we are providing that information so that people in our county can really look into all the different resources within our county. Until these benefits are available. And it's unfortunate that we're going through this, but hopefully we will have those benefits out soon.
So, Annette, thank you. I know everybody's waiting for information, and you can only give what we know. But what can we say to residents who might be feeling a little frustrated right now, those CalFresh recipients who are anxious about, looking forward to even the 50%? And then how will the county funds to help support the food bank, that will kind of keep things going where if residents get 50% and then the money from the county comes into the food bank, this is trying to keep support there over time.
It is just a supplemental benefit to the residents so that hopefully they can maintain for their family, really, at this point. We are looking actively to all the different agencies or cities to see if anybody else is contributing, and we'll provide that information out to the county residents, because we have heard maybe a potential from other areas that might be available. So we will be sharing as we become aware of them. As we know that there is a need. I will say, working here at Social Services for many years, that normally in the months of November, December, January, we see a peak in CalFresh applications in Medi-Cal, because this is really an agricultural hospitality county. And so we do see that people, either their hours decrease or they get laid off and they need those benefits. So it's something that we want to continue to encourage people to apply. Then they can do that. And we always say there's 5 different ways to contact us, and that's through our benefitscal.com portal online. They can call our office. They can come into one of our office. They can mail in an application, or they can even fax in an application. So we are also actively working on outreach services with our community-based organizations, and we are trying to put that up into our MCHOPES website, so that we have kind of where everybody is at in our county, so that everyone can apply. Because again, the need is right now CalFresh, because it's not being issued, but also we have all the other programs that families can take advantage of if they're entitled to it. So again, important to continue. I know it can be difficult for families at this time.
Annette, thank you so much. I know it's not a lot of information, but any information is good information. Being able to plan, know that there's support coming, really helpful. I really appreciate you taking the time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Well, and now we're going to talk about the Public Guardian Office. It is a special bureau within the health department, and it serves as a conservator for vulnerable adults, but it also includes public administrator duties. Doing this work requires a delicate balance between meeting the needs of family and the person involved, as well as legal issues. So we're very pleased to have Sarah Solano. She's the Deputy Public Administrator Guardian Conservator for the county. Sarah, thanks very much for coming to the briefing to talk about this program.
Thank you for having me. And I'm going to do my very best to give an overview of our services. I am told oftentimes, I hear about you guys, but I'm just not quite sure what you guys do. So I will do my best. And can you see my slides okay?
I sure can.
All right, great. So what services do we provide? We do, as a last resort, provide services as a representative payee, LPS and general conservatorships, but also probate administration. All of the work that we do is supervised by the court, and almost every function and every action that we take, there's some sort of law behind that supports what we do, and we always must adhere to those strict standards. Most of our referrals come from our mental health facilities, such as Natividad and CHOMP. They both have psychiatric hospitals within their hospital. We get a lot of referrals from the court, the district attorney's office, the coroner's office, and also adult protective services.
Sarah, I just want to pause and tell you we're not seeing your advancing slides.
Oh, okay. I think I might be having the same problem as Jack. Let me try again.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. It's Gremlin Day at the briefing.
Okay, let me know if it's not. I'm going to go on to the next slide.
Will do.
Let me know. Did it follow me?
Yes, it
Okay,
did.
great. So a little bit about our representative payee services. In some cases, and what I mean in some cases, usually these individuals are connected to behavioral health or they're under some sort of conservatorship. We will assume that role as their representative payee for payment management for clients who are incapable of managing their Social Security and veteran benefits. We also provide probate estate administration. So these are our deceased individuals here in Monterey County. And unfortunately, we are seeing an uptick in these sort of cases. We do live in an aging community. And so what this means is that an individual has passed away in the county and either they have a will or they don't have a will. If they don't have a will, again, we're last resort. If there's no other viable person next of kin who's willing or unable to administer the estate, then we will get involved. Also, on the other hand, if they have a will, then if the elected representative who was named to administer the estate is unable to perform that duty for whatever reason, then the court will appoint us. So in this role, obviously, we're administering whatever assets that they have, their house, their vehicles. It can be jewelry, it can be pensions, bank accounts. And then again, we adhere from a bunch of laws and regulations. We do an intense investigation. We're looking for next of kin. So these are our most complex cases that we're receiving and working on currently. We also act as the public guardian conservator for, again, the adult population. And these are individuals who are unable to care for their basic needs, food, clothing, shelter. And there has to be some sort of clear diagnosis, supporting documentation from a doctor or psychiatrist that supports that this individual is unable to care for themselves. So we do have a couple types of conservatorships. So the probate conservatorship of the person, these are what we call our general conservatorships. So these are for individuals, for example, who may be elderly, experiencing severe dementia, who are unable to care for themselves, and or their finances. So in some occasions, we may serve in both roles as the probate conservatorship of the person and of the estate, depending on whether or not they have a home that we need to protect. Also, there is our LPS conservatorship. So these are our mental health conservatorships. These are individuals who have some sort of schizophrenia diagnosis or diagnoses, bipolar. January 2025, or 26 rather, the county is going live. And so SB 43 now has expanded the definition of what grave disability means for our LPS conservatorship. So now this also includes severe SUD, substance use disorder. So I am predicting that we are going to see a huge increase of referrals and work because unfortunately there's a large homeless population who have a severe substance use disorder, who need help and who will most likely need our services. So what sort of decisions can a conservator make? It comes with great power, so it's just about everything. We are making decisions about their personal care, the medications they take, where they live. We are providing all of the financial oversight of all their accounts, their benefits, their pensions. Oftentimes, it means making the difficult decision to sell an individual's home because they can no longer safely live independently in their own home, and we have no other option but to remove them, place them in a facility for their own safety and their own health, and sell that home, and then those funds would be applied to their estate and applied to their continued needs. So what is the process for all of this, these case types? Again, there must be clear evidence that this individual needs our support. We certainly don't want to get involved if we don't have to. When we think about conservatorship, it is a very serious thing. Essentially, what we are doing is stripping away someone's civil liberty, and that's their decision to make their decisions, the ability for them to make decisions on their own behalf. And we don't want to have to do that if we don't have to. We do have to go in front of the judge, and the judge also has to say, under clear, convincing evidence, that this individual does need our support. But when we do get a referral, we do a deep dive. We are looking at other least alternative options. Their third-party support. Is there anybody else out there who's willing to help? Again, we're last resort, and we don't want to have to get involved if we don't have to. So that's all I have. I know it was very, very brief, and it was just a scratch at the surface of kind of what we do, but feel free to contact me if you would like more information, if you would like me to give a more detailed presentation to your bureau or staff. I'd be more than happy to assist you.
Sarah, thank you so much. And it was very detailed, especially for the complexity that your bureau handles. A couple of questions that came in. How many clients are you serving in with all these services? And I'm sorry if I missed it earlier in your presentation.
Sure. We are serving about 630 something clients. We have a total of 17 staff, and these are our deputies, these are our support staff, these are our accountants. So 17 staff versus 600 plus clients, it's a lot of work.
And you also talked a little bit about some of the difficult cases that you have to navigate. And I'm wondering if you can talk about how the staff navigates cases where there are people who may not wish that their circumstance be what it is, and that you have to place someone in a home or in a care facility which they may not want. I mean, these are very difficult cases in that maybe the family is upset. How do you navigate that?
Yes, and that can be very difficult, and we must be very delicate in our approach. And it's important to know that for every single conservatorship case that is ordered, that individual is appointed a court attorney to represent them through the entire process. So they do have a layer of support. But you know, every decision that we make, we always have to step back and think, are we advocating and are we making the best decision for them? And so obviously we are looking at all the circumstances with that person. And again, we don't want to have to take them away from their home if we don't have to. We're looking for at least alternative options. Can the individual stay in their home safely with a care provider going in? These are just examples that we try to navigate and consider if all fails and there's nothing else. And it really does depend on the individual's ability and comprehensive understanding of things. They may be so severely demented or so severely sick that we have no other choice.
And then one last question. You talk about your oversight and the rigors for you. Who do you answer to? And so for you know, you make it family with has frustrated, and they want to know who you answer to. What, you know, how do you make these decisions, and who may look at what you do and say that was the right thing to do?
Sure. Well, I also want to say that we do work closely with the family members and the individual themselves. I mean, we want to factor in everybody's wishes, but we have to answer to the court. We have to answer to the judge. And the judge has, like I said, she or he, they are providing oversight in almost everything that we do. We have to file annual reports, annual accountings. We have, the court will appoint a independent investigator to come and look at the work that we're doing. They are visiting our clients. They are ensuring that we're doing the work that we are supposed to be doing.
Jill, thank you so much
yeah.
for, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, it is a serious role, and we want to take that role seriously and make sure that we are performing these functions, because if we're not, then there can be serious sanctions that the court can impose towards the Bureau, including monetary sanctions. And so it's very important that we are following closely, and doing the work carefully, with care, and providing these great services for our clients.
Thank you for taking the time to walk us through this and tell us a little bit more about the service. And for people who may need it, they may not know about you until they need you. And here you are. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And last but absolutely not least, every year our County Behavioral Health Suicide Prevention Coalition, which is called MCHOPES, you may have heard of it, holds an International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day event, and it's coming up on November 22nd. We're very pleased to have Carly Memoli here. She is going to talk about the event and about the coalition. Carly, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Would you guys like to share the slides, or should I pull them up?
I don't have your slides. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, no worries. I've got them. Let me pull those up right now. Okay. Just make sure y'all can see them. They're going to be on about half my screen because I've got a couple talking points I want to make sure to mention as I speak with y'all today. Thank you so much for taking some time today. We appreciate it. Monterey County Helping One Another Prevent and Eliminate Suicide is a coalition of community members, service providers, survivors of suicide loss, and individuals with personal experience. I personally am in each of these categories, having lost multiple individuals in my own life to suicide and going through that healing process, and then having worked as a professional in the field of suicide prevention and suicidology over the last 20 years. This group of folks has been working together since actually before 2019 to implement local suicide prevention efforts in Monterey County and to really raise awareness of the role that everyone in the community can play. Our most recent coalition meeting, which we meet every other month, included really valuable information and resources for family members, friends, and neighbors who are concerned about someone else. So how to connect someone who's struggling to the right crisis services and so on. We have another meeting coming up in December that will be focused on supporting individuals who are struggling during periods of life transition, be that retirement, major relationship changes, and so on. And currently we're compiling local data to come back to you shortly with a clear picture of which groups of Monterey County residents are most impacted by suicide right now. As part of our work, we offer a wide range of trainings for community members and service providers on suicide prevention and mental health. We attend and host events throughout the year to share resources, to raise awareness, to reduce stigma, and work to implement other activities to help folks who are at risk of suicide, who are in a crisis, or who may be grieving a loss. Individuals who are wanting more information about the coalition can email one of our team members who I have listed here, our training specialist, who is Ben Gray. And I talked just a little bit about postvention and how that kind of fits into what we're doing here. Okay, and just checking to see if folks can see my screen share. Yes, okay, great. So postvention activities, which is really the response and the support that we provide after a suicide death has occurred, are really now recognized as a vital component of a comprehensive approach to suicide prevention, which is the type of approach that's been shown to actually reduce suicides in communities across the world. Both the national and state California state strategies, as well as the Centers for Disease Control and the Suicide Prevention Resource Center, really highlight the importance of providing and improving supports to folks who've been exposed to or affected by a suicide death. On average, about 5 immediate family members and up to 135 other family members, community members, friends, and neighbors can be significantly impacted by the death of one individual from suicide. And a significant number of these folks who have that experience have negative and potentially long-term mental health consequences, up to even potentially increased suicide risk. There is a tremendous amount of complicated grief and trauma and stigma that surrounds suicide loss. And sometimes as a result, people who have lost someone to suicide don't receive the same compassion, the same support as folks who've experienced the loss of someone to an accident or another type of death. The stigma around this can really discourage loss survivors from seeking help. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here with you today to share this information in the hopes that more loss survivors will hear this and consider participating. So thank you for that kind of build up to our event. This will be the third year that we are hosting what we call Hope and Healing in Monterey County. This is just a snapshot of the flyers, which I've sent over, but I will also upload in the chat before we're done. Just to let you know a little bit about it. So amongst other postvention activities that the coalition and our member organizations are pursuing, International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day is an event in which people who've been impacted by a suicide death can come together to find connection, to find understanding, and to build hope by sharing our experiences and finding resources. This is an event that happens not just in Monterey County, but in communities across the nation and across the world through the support of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Locally, our program, in addition to Monterey County Behavioral Health, the Health Department, and Suicide Prevention Service of the Central Coast, are coming together to pool our personnel, to pool our resources, and really to let folks know this is a safe place to come if this is part of your experience. This will be our third year, and we do want to let folks know really importantly that you don't have to be a survivor of suicide loss to attend. We will have mental health resources available for folks who might need those. We also want to encourage folks to know that you can join if you're looking to help or wanting to learn how to help or what can I say if I know someone who's had this experience. We also encourage folks to join whether the person that they lost was a friend, a family member, a coworker, a student, or any other type of relationship. It's not just for family members. And it doesn't matter if your loss was in the distant past or if it happened recently. This is a safe and shared place for healing and for support, and everybody is welcome. We will, at the event, engage in some different healing activities together. There'll be a number of different ways for folks to do that, some different opportunities for self-care, some discussion groups. And together, we also get a chance to observe a documentary made by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention that allows us to kind of hear others that are sharing and processing their experience and seeing how people move from deep grief and despair into a place of hope. We'll have some refreshments available and some resources from local organizations as well. Partially, I also wanted to share with you that because the loss of suicide can be so devastating, it's really important for folks, whether they come to the event or not, to know that we have local resources and there's a lot of information available to support someone who's had that type of loss. And partially because this sort of grief is really different than many other types of loss. Folks may feel alone or not know where to turn for support and need to know that they don't have to struggle with this alone. So one of the resources linked through this website through Monterey County is our local suicide loss support services available through suicide prevention. And this includes peer support groups, grief counseling, resources, and connection, and it's all free. At the event, we'll be talking about these local resources as well as some of the regional and national resources available to us through the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. For example, one of the resources here is a conversational guide that could really help anyone learn how do I talk to and how do I support a person who's lost someone to suicide? What should I say? What sorts of things should I avoid saying? And what are the ways that I can help? So often people want to help when someone's had a loss, but they don't know what to say or they're afraid to make it worse. And so they don't say anything. And that can result in further isolation. So we want to equip and empower each other to know how to help and to know that there are a lot of things we can do to help. Once more, I just wanted to bring up the flyers and express our appreciation to United Way Monterey County for hosting us again at the Makerspace in downtown Salinas. Again, this is going to be on Saturday, the 22nd of this month. Registration will start from 10 until 10:30, and the event will continue until 1 o'clock. There's a quick and easy registration link, and folks are welcome to reach out to us if they have questions, if they want to participate, if they have ideas, or just want to learn more about the work that we're doing. Thank you again so much for taking some time today. I would also always want to remind all community members who are in need of any type of crisis support to call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988, call, text, or chat online anytime for support for themselves or for another person. Thank you so much for the time today. Appreciate it.
Carly, thank you so much for walking through everything. There was a lot there, and you got pretty quickly. One thing that I found really interesting is that you really are, your organization, others are really going out of their way to say, it's okay to come to these events. It's okay to reach out for help, even if you don't know anyone or you know someone and you may feel awkward about showing up at a public event and reaching out to somebody that you don't know and saying, this happened in my life sphere. What do I do about it? I think you guys, and as professionals, you had to come to realize that you have to make people feel comfortable to reach out for something they don't even know they need.
Right. And it's a challenge to do that, but I think so all of the folks on our team who facilitate the discussion groups and provide support have had the experience not only of responding to calls on the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, but of facilitating support groups for those who've had a loss. So it's really important to us to create that space and also to let folks participate in the ways that are comfortable to them. Some people might come to the event and stay at the coffee and muffin table and just kind of watch from afar, and that's what they're ready for right now. But they'll hear about the information. They'll learn about the opportunities for support for when they're ready. Some people might be ready to dive in and do the deep healing work that maybe they personally are ready for. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure approach with enough support for wherever people are at.
You also gave a very interesting statistic about the impact of a death by suicide, where it affects not only the family, where you gave it like 5 immediate family member, but 135 people in that person's circle. And when you think about just the number, just off the top of your head, you go, wow, that's a lot. But then you think about how we interact with people in our daily life all the time, and it's not so staggering after all.
Right, absolutely. Probably almost everyone you meet has had an experience around this, and it's just something that we don't talk about very often. But the loss of one person does create such a ripple effect of grief in the community, and different ways for different folks. But we want to let folks know, even if you didn't feel like you were super close to this person, it's okay to have had that impact you, and this is a space for you too.
Carly, thank you, as always, for being here to talk about the event and the good work that you do.
Thank you so much.
And thanks, everyone, for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week, and we'll see you then.